What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does, that helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, I wanted to take a quick moment to discuss this extremely stressed out, unhinged rant, which is being disguised as some sort of political education by CNN correspondent, I believe his name is Keith Boykins. The reason you're going to see him as stressed out and agitated as he is because folks like him are used by CNN and other news outlets to bring in the black vote to the DNC. If Kamala Harris loses this election and there's a low black voter turnout, there's a good chance that you won't see this guy on television ever again. So that's why you're going to see him as stressed as he is. And currently at this moment in time, Kamala Harris is not doing good with the black vote in general overall. I want to take a quick moment to pivot to this article here, but we're going to get through this very quickly. As you can see here, the article is titled NAACP to spend $20 million mobilizing black voters this fall. So they're throwing a lot of money to get that black vote to come around to Kamala Harris. Because like I said, a lot of black voters, they're just not feeling Kamala Harris. And for a lot of these political pundits, their job is on the line. The NAACP plans to spend $20 million encouraging Black Americans, a critical voting bloc in the presidential race, to turn out to vote across 12 states this fall. Now, here's a little bit of a breakdown of how this money is going to be spent. $2 million on mailings aimed at pushing voters to the polls, $3 million on radio ads in Black communities, $1.4 million for texting outreach, another $1 million for polling and research, and then finally what we have here, $6 million in funds for local NAACP chapters and partners. $6 million in funds for local NAACP chapters and partners. I wonder specifically how that $6 million for local NAACP chapters and partners will be breaking down. I have a good feeling that that breakdown will come in the form of money going in certain people's pockets. Okay. I'm not really sure that that's going to go into any other helpful outreach programming to get black voters to turn out for Kamala. But I digress. It is just speculation. Let's get into the real reason why you're here. Let's get into this unhinged rant by Keith Boykins, whose job is on the line at CNN. And I'm going to let it play out in its entirety first. It's only about maybe a minute long, and then I'll circle back around to it to give my kind of breakdown of what he's actually talking about and what he's saying. But let's look at this because this guy is stressed.
I'm in Chicago and it occurs to me I need to teach a quick civics for celebrities course. So here are 5 things to know for today's lesson. Number 1, Kamala Harris is black. She has a black Jamaican father. She grew up in Oakland, California. She attended Howard University, a historically black college, and most importantly, she says she's black. Number 2, Kamala Harris is the vice president, not the president. The vice president only has 2 main duties: to break ties in the Senate and fill it in case something happens to the president. Number 3, the president, no president can sign an executive order to give you reparations. Congress must do that, and even then the Supreme Court has to uphold it because it be challenged in court. Number 4, Donald Trump did not give you a stimulus check. Democrats in Congress made that happen. Republicans resisted it. Trump delayed it so he could put his name on it and make you believe that he did it. And number 5, please don't get your political news from people who don't know anything about politics and government, not from your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your barber, your friend down the block, your weed dealer, or anyone else who is uninformed. And there you have it. That's today's Saturday school lesson.
That man is stressed out. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's take it from the top. That man knows his job is on the line, doesn't he? Oh wow. Let's take it from the top. Okay.
So I'm in Chicago, and it occurs to me I need to teach a quick civics for celebrities course. So here are 5 things to know for today's lesson. Number 1, Kamala Harris is black. She has a black Jamaican father. She grew up in Oakland, California. She attended Howard University, a historically black college, and most importantly, she says she's black.
Kamala Harris is black. Why is he so amped up about Kamala Harris is black and trying to convince black folks that she is black herself? Well, the reason is this, right? He started off by saying, I'm in Chicago and it appears to me I need to give a quick civics crash course for celebrities. That's a direct response to Janet Jackson, who recently gave an interview, I believe it was to The Guardian, in which she stated, and I quote, from what I hear, Kamala Harris isn't black, she's Indian. And that's an accurate, factual statement. I don't even understand why this is debated. Kamala Harris is an Indian biracial woman. I don't know why it's so offensive to refer to her as who she is, which is an Indian woman. Well, when Janet Jackson stated this, obviously that statement went viral. And in going viral, even a fake apology came out from someone who was claiming to represent Janet Jackson, who doesn't represent Janet Jackson. That fake apology on behalf of Janet Jackson went viral, and then Janet Jackson responded by saying that apology did not come from me, and it was unauthorized. Whoever gave you that apology is not representing me, effectively not apologizing for her statement. She has not apologized for stating that. This really agitates the DNC, on top of the fact that Janet Jackson has yet to apologize. Hopefully she won't. A fake apology did come out, and she came out and said, no. I didn't apologize for anything. She could have took that moment to apologize, but she didn't. She said that didn't come from me. That's fake news. But let's carry on and listen to this unhinged rant a little bit more.
Number 2, Kamala Harris is the vice president, not the president. The vice president only has 2 main duties: to break ties in the Senate and fill in case something happens to the president. Number 3, the president, no president can sign an executive order to give you reparations. Congress must do that, and even then the Supreme Court has to uphold it because it can be challenged in court. Number 4.
Let's stop right there. Understand, in 2020, for the Democrats, on the main stage, not just simply online, because what's happening online and what's happening on the main stage are 2 different things. On the main stage during the 2020 election, reparations was an actual topic of discussion. Every DNC candidate had to answer that question, whether they were on the Breakfast Club or they were on The View or even on mainstream media outlets. They all had to answer to that. They even addressed it on the DNC debate stage. Once again, in 2020, that was a main topic of discussion on the main stage. In 2024, reparations is not a topic of discussion on the main stage. And Black folks that are voting for Trump are not voting for him on the basis of whether or not there's going to be reparations given out. They're voting for him on the basis that the economy has tanked under Biden and Harris, and we're dealing with a migrant crisis under Biden and Harris and a host of other issues under Biden and Harris. They're voting based on that. But what Keith is attempting to do right now is gaslight Black folks into a conversation that isn't happening in an effort to trigger a larger conversation on reparations to happen, knowing and understanding what the Republican position on that topic is. And once the Republicans give you their position on the topic of reparations, he then turns around and weaponizes it and uses it against them in order to reel in the Black vote, as if voting Kamala Harris into office is going to get Black Americans reparations, when we all know that's not going to happen. There's a bill that's been sitting collecting dust on the Congress floor underneath the rug for 40 years now, and it's a study bill on reparations that hasn't even been brought up to the House floor for a vote, not one time. And this is just a bill that studies reparations. It's a study bill, and the Democrats refuse to even vote on it in 40 years. Okay, so if they won't even vote on a reparations study bill, what would lead you to believe that voting Kamala Harris is going to get you reparations? You see what he's trying to do here? That's that tricknology. You got to watch out for the tricknology. Don't let these folks gaslight you and bait you into foolishness.
Donald Trump did not give you a stimulus check. Democrats in Congress made that happen. Republicans resisted it. Trump delayed it so he could put his name on it and make you believe that he did it. And
I always find it hilarious that as it pertains to Donald Trump, anything he did that is considered good or a positive, somehow it doesn't count. It always doesn't count. If it's Trump, it doesn't count. The stimulus check doesn't count. I forget what that second chance bill was called as it pertains to prisoners. I believe it was the First Step Act. Oh, yeah, the First Step Act. That's another good one that he did. Apparently, it doesn't count. Anytime Donald Trump signs a bill into law, it is always overemphasized every time Trump signs a bill into law, the DNC always overemphasizes on how it had to pass through Congress. Well, every bill has to pass through Congress before it gets to the president's desk for it to be signed. But they overemphasize on that to take credit away from Trump. But when it comes to Kamala Harris, or I should say Joe Biden, or when it comes to Barack Obama or any DNC president, they get all the credit for whatever they sign into law. It is only Donald Trump that some way, somehow, if he signs a bill into law, that's a good thing. It doesn't really count.
Number 5, please don't get your political news from people.
Let's play this last one. I'm going to make this full screen in closing because this is when the wheels really come off on his unhinged rant.
Put his name on it and make you believe that he did it. And number 5, please don't get your political news from people who don't know anything about politics and government, not from your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your barber, your friend down the block, your weed dealer, or anyone else who's...
Your weed dealer? Really? This is what the DNC thinks of the black vote. I'm surprised he didn't say not from Pookie and Ray Ray. The weed dealer. Not from Man and them. The weed dealer. Interesting choice of words. I don't smoke, so I don't know why he would even be saying something like that, but I digress. Let's let it play out. Look at him jumping up and down like a fool. This man does not want to get fired from CNN.
Put his name on it and make you believe that he did it. And number 5, please don't get your political news from people who don't know anything about politics and government, not from your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your barber, your friend down the block, your weed dealer, or anyone else who is uninformed. And there you have it. That's today's Saturday school lesson.
I don't think you or I learned anything in that Saturday school lesson other than the fact that this man is desperately trying to keep his job on CNN. And the only way he's going to be able to keep that job is if the black vote turns out for Kamala Harris. But one thing I know is that this black vote right here will definitely not be turning out for Kamala Harris. And I think many of you feel exactly the same. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to this channel if you're new to this channel. And also share this video out on your social media platforms. And don't forget to follow me on Telegram and Rumble. That is extremely important. The link to my Telegram and Rumble will be pinned in the description box below, as well as in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time, and until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.